activities, very quick activities. So I will say 2 sentences, and please first stand up. Everyone please stand up, please. So you don't get sleepy. I also don't get sleepy when you see everyone stand up. Okay, I will say 2 sentences. If that's corresponding to you, so please sit down, yeah? Be at ease. So the first sentence, if you're coming from the country that experienced earthquake over 7 Richter. Sorry? In your lifetime, if you were a country coming from that you experienced earthquake more than 7 Richter. Second, if you come from the country that experienced heavy flooding, landslide, please sit down. And last one, if you come from the countries that's facing the impacts of pandemic COVID-19. Thank you. That's the trick. So my name is Vuthaya Charoenpol. I am Asia Advocacy Advisor for SOS Children Villages International Asia office. So it's my every 2-year honor of being here, introducing a speaker from the session. Just a minute. So for this session at BICON. And please, while I am speaking, I would like to also invite already the speaker to be seated on the stage. It's good to be with young people, so I get some claps and some noises. Yes. Yay. Thank you. Sit here, and you can sit here. Yeah, in the middle. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I will try to be very time limited as well. So again, it's my honor to be here to introduce a moderator session of where we focus on the topic of, actually it's really urgent and also deeply human. The crisis and resilience of the family and care experienced person across Asia. Across our region, families are navigating multiple layers of adversity, conflict, climate crisis, disaster, economic instabilities, and health emergency. In South Asia, 65% of children face 4 or more climate-related shocks, far above the global average. These crises don't just disrupt daily life, but also they fracture support system, separate family, and leave lasting emotional scars. Also, for care experienced individuals, those who have lived through foster care, kinship care, or any other institutional setting, the impact is even more profound. Studies show that caregivers are 4 times less likely to enter higher education, and 2.5 times more likely to drop off compared to their peers. These statistics reflect systematic gaps, but they also highlight the need for targeted support and inclusive policy. Yet amid these all challenges we can see the resilience. Not as a buzzword that I'm saying, but it's a lived reality. In Southeast Asia, indigenous communities demonstrate resilience through interconnectedness, linkage of cultural continuities, and strong social bonds. For example, in Singapore, 9 in 10 persons report moderate to high family resilience score, showing that even in the urban context, family adapt and endure. And according to the UNICEF, the recent technical brief reminds us that climate resilient child protection systems are not just desirable, but they are essential, crucial for these young peoples and family. This system help family prepare for, respond to, and recover from crises, while safeguarding children from violence, exploitations, and child-family separation. Today we are here not just only discuss, but we would then listen and learn, and also to lead, as Diksha mentioned in the morning. Also, we will hear from experts and care experience, individuals whose voices might shape the futures of child protection and family support and family strengthening. Their stories are not just testimonies, but they are footprint for change. So let's welcome first Birendra, Shahi, a powerful voice of care experienced young people in Nepal, originally from remote Humla. He is a co-founder of Shine Together, Care Experience Network, Care Experience Network in Nepal. Let's welcome Birendra.
Thank you, Vuthaya. Namaste and good evening to everyone present here. And thank you for bringing me here. I want to start with some thoughts. Can you imagine being a child, scared, alone, and uncertain? That where your parents and when you will meet them. This is the situation of thousands of children around the world every year because of weather, because of natural disasters such as landslide, earthquake, floods, and because of war or immigration or poverty. You know something? Crisis is the perfect time in Nepal for peoples to separate the children from their families. In Nepal, we lived through many crises such as earthquake, landslide, flood, COVID pandemic, and many more. These events do not shake the peoples, but they shake the families, children's, and they shake the systems. And they leave the children's the most vulnerable condition. In Nepal, after massive earthquake 2015, many children were displaced from their families. And many of them lost their contact with the families. Children were randomly placed into orphanage without doing proper assessment of the families and the children. During the crisis, everyone cares about protection or safety first. It is natural. During COVID-19 outbreak, Nepal faced lockdown as world faced. Many children living in care systems were sent back to their homes without any proper assessment of family, children's, or aftercare service supports. As caretakers left the care setting systems and went back to their families to live with them, leaving children abandoned alone in care systems. When children were left uncertain, decisions had to be made by themselves. sudden transitions, isolation, and insecurity. The government did respond with relief to me, but many care experienced didn't were not included in this support. Limited access to technologies, online learning, counseling supports, or basic health support. The crises are not just environmental, it is medical. They are deeply social and emotional. When a crisis strikes, children are the first one to be forgotten. People of Nepal have a high resilience. They always bounce back after a tough time, after having crisis. That that's how I learned resilience is the strength within our families, communities, and among the neighborhood. To keep things going on, to heal, grow even when things are hard because life keeps on going. It's the way to cope up, recover, and rebuild. As a care experienced individual, I can say separation family, whereas because of abuse, neglect, or crisis, change you deeply. It affects how you see the world, how you trust to others, and how you define to yourself. The emotional pain is difficult to describe. Living with unfamiliar face for a long time makes children's to have a relationship of to trust to others peoples. Longer separation affect the emotional and social growth. A child has to start from a ground level, completely in a new environment. Some takes time to cope up with it, but some lost in it. The development delays. I know some friends who have come from the village after having crisis, are they repeated the class in cities areas. But one important thing is, I remember there is a loss in both sides. When a child lost his childhood without parents, the parents also lost the parenting skills to their children. Both sides losses something precious and that cannot be easily restored. Family gives a sense of love, belongingness, safety. When it is gone, the child may feel lost, unsure of who they are or where they belongs to. So, all the practitioners, expertise, and familiar faces present here, what can we do first? Make sure that the voice of care experienced or children are heard. Without disabilities getting access to service when needed to them. Prepare and strengthen families in that way which they can face the challenges emotionally, socially, and financially because of you never when a crisis will come to. Second, when youth organize and speak, the system shake. That's why I learned from the last condition of Nepal as Janji's protest was so much devastated. Crisis may shake our life, but resilience is what helps to rise again. The journey through crisis is never easy, especially for children. But with right support, I believe we can build a system that truly cares. because it is always about rising stronger and shine together. At last, in every crisis, resilience begins with connection. If we strengthen family, we strengthen the society. If we protect child today, we build a safer environment for them tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Birendra. So now I would like to invite next speaker. Please welcome Datin Elya Lim Abdullah, a passionate advocate and visionary leader whose journey spans science, business, and humanitarian. Today, she champions child welfare as trustee at OrphanCare Foundation, driving national child care reform and promoting family-based care. Thank you, please.
Thank you, Vuthaya. Yes. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. My name is Elya. It is an honor to be with all of you at BICON, and this is my first time, as we reflect on this timely theme, crisis and resilience of families and care experienced individuals. Now, when we think of crisis, we often picture natural disasters, conflicts, or pandemics. But crisis is not always sudden or dramatic. Sometimes it takes the form of silent struggles, poverty, stigma, or the painful breakdown of family bonds. And when we speak about resilience, it is not simply the ability to survive hardships. Resilience means adapting, healing, and flourishing, sometimes against extraordinary odds. This lies at the very heart of our mission at OrphanCare Foundation. Since our inception, we have been guided by a simple but powerful belief: every child deserves to grow up in the love and stability of a family, not in an institution. I'd like to, at this juncture, give special thanks to the BICON Organizing Committee and UNICEF Malaysia for inviting OrphanCare to be involved in this conference. It is the highest responsibility and moral duty of every government and community to ensure that children are not condemned to spending their lives in institutions. Too often, terms such as shelter and temporary placements are used carelessly and sometimes even strategically to whitewash the deeper systemic failures that force children into institutional care. While authorities and stakeholders take years to decide their future, this is the very crisis that is happening in every institutionalized child's life. Children are placed in so-called temporary care, whether in government-run shelters or in privately operated homes that expand their services under government endorsement. In truth, these placements are rarely temporary. They become long-term, indefinite, and tragically normalized. We are told these separations happen mainly because of court orders. These court orders consist of children who are beyond control, conflict with the law, sexually abuse, display extreme aggression, and have extreme behavioral tendencies. These children are carrying invisible wounds with time, living in institutions. The evidence is clear and compelling. Institutionalization causes trauma. Trauma is not about what happens to you, it is about what happens inside you as a result of what happens to you. And for these children growing in institutions, that trauma is continued, and the impact does not disappear with age. It manifests in adulthood, in countless painful and destructive ways. We must stop rationalizing institutionalization as the best available option. We must stop using the language of temporary placements when in truth, many children are left behind, forgotten in what are essentially forever temporary shelters. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we witnessed how fragile families can be under strain. Lives were lost, jobs were lost, schools were closed. Out of desperation, some parents considered relinquishing their children. On the other hand, we also saw what was deeply encouraging when families were supported through counseling, temporary assistance, parenting guidance, and community support networks. Families stay together. This is exactly what OrphanCare stands for: preventing separation wherever possible and keeping families united, even during crisis times. Now, I'd like to share how OrphanCare supported and built resilience for one family that was affected by COVID, and an example of reintegration case during a crisis of abuse. So this is a story about Nana. She was 8 years old when OC met her in 2021. Her father was Malaysian, mother was Indonesian. She was born without any papers except for her birth certificate. Nana was raised by a mother mainly until she died of COVID in 2020. Her father was her on-off guardian before he passed away in 2022. Now we look at the challenges that face Nana then. Mother's untimely death. Nana was diagnosed with learning disabilities. She had health issues, obesity, dental problems, unable to attend school because she had no papers or documents. Her father was totally uninvolved in her daily life. Her adult stepsister looked after her after the father passed away. This care did not last as the stepsister had financial problems. So, support from OC was through financial and grocery aids, healthcare. Nana underwent complete medical and dental checkups, assessment of intellectual capacity by a clinical psychologist from a well-known therapy center, confirmed that she had intellectual disabilities. As for her education, without the relevant documents, plus her condition, Nana could only attend school based on this PPKI syllabus, which is for special children. In addition, OC, OrphanCare, arranged for her online classes for special needs children. The outcomes the outcomes were such that due to her unstable and insecure position and future at home without love and guidance, OrphanCare felt that there had to be another care plan for her. Her lifestyle was erratic as she started to ply between her family home and the stepsister's squatter home under a bridge. After a discussion with the Malaysian Welfare Department, JKM, it was decided that Nana would be safe to return to her late mother's country, where she had an extended family. Contact was made with the extended family, and they were happy and agreed to receive Nana. Nana returned to Indonesia on the 7th of March 2024 safely and without problems. She was reunited with her maternal aunt. Nana was saved from being institutionalized. So if you can see, there are some photos of her when she arrived in Sumatra, Indonesia, photos of her with relatives and staff of the Malaysian embassy at her arrival, and a photo with her aunt when she returned, when she arrived in Indonesia. So the question would have been, why? Why did you have to send her back? Well, she had very little options because she had no documents. So she would have to be an Indonesian following her late mother's country of birth, yeah. Now, the second case of reintegration involves Maz and her son Harun. Maz, who is now 27 years old, she was a rape victim in 2021. She gave birth to her baby, and he was diagnosed to have cerebral palsy. She was initially a single mom, but is now married. Baby Harun was originally placed in the social welfare department due to his condition. After 3 months, his mother wanted him back. OC supported them. The challenges they experienced with, for Maz was that she had to take care of a special needs child. Financial struggles, she lost her job in 2023, and her failure to get a job till now. The high cost of medical and daily needs was also pressing, and the lack of family support from her side. Marital problems are brewing as I speak due to the long-distance relationship. Her husband is based in another state, and of course, plus the pressure of starting a family. So the support from OC initially was financial, medical. I don't think if you can look at the amount we spend, that's fine, I wouldn't read it. Counseling sessions were important for Maz, physiotherapy support for Harun, and mobility aids like wheelchairs, stroller, and a car seat. OC encouraged Maz to get a job or start a small business that she could manage while caring for Harun. She did. She started a small business selling homemade ice cream and traditional kueh in 2024 and continues to do so until now. What were the outcomes? The outcomes were such that the husband accepted Harun as his own. That was positive. Husband provided higher financial support than before, although it's still insufficient. OC supported and enabled the access to medical care and counseling. And through OC's support, the child remains with mother, not in an institution. And these are some pictures, that we'll share about, of Maz and her son. He's nearly 4 now, and we are still supporting them. Right. I'd like to recap on the point regarding building resilience during crisis and non-crisis times. These will be shown in the slides that's coming through. So, number one is it is the building of family resilience in times of crisis. We have to look at supporting parents, preventing child-family separation, and alternatives to institutionalization. The challenge, whether it is a crisis due to poverty, disaster, conflicts, still put families under severe stress. Financial strains give rise to inability to provide basic needs, risk of children separated from parents and placed in institutions. Research shows children thrive best in families, not institutions. The strengthening of families, which I've heard a lot, yesterday and today. Here, in this case, we're talking about economic support and emotional support. Economic support includes food aid, nutrition support, livelihood training, and job creation. Housing and emergency shelter support. Access to affordable healthcare and education need to be, looked into. For emotional support, without the emotional support, we are looking at, with the emotional support, we are looking at counseling and parenting programs, mental health services, community support networks. In preventing institutionalization, we need to raise awareness, prioritize family preservation, support families in crisis before separation happens. The alternatives to institutions via reintegration, which is the goal to return children safely to parents, extended family, or you call it kinship, families. Children stay with relatives when parents struggle. So foster care, which is a short-term affair, is only when no family option exists. In the Malaysian context, foster care would be an important alternative to support reintegration and older children adoption, children who are no longer attractive to potential adoptive parents. Now, to building long-term resilience, skills training for parents are vital, education access for children, social protection systems, child family allowances from the government, community crisis preparedness, and resilience plans. Okay, now we move on to the care experience individuals. Here, I think I have to speed up. Here, I'd like to emphasize that although important an issue as it is, care experienced individuals in Malaysia are not supported with clear policies documented for them. An aftercare package including housing, income, documentation, education requirements do not exist. This is an important and glaring gap. For these young caregivers aged 18, they are not... Okay. They are not prepared to live independently outside the institutions without support. Care leavers are not just beneficiaries, they are also partners in shaping better systems in the future. Their voice guides us forward, and it is time we listen. So I have to stop, but I would like to mention that OrphanCare provides services throughout, from baby, from counseling to adoptive parents sharing session, birth mother parenting, and many other trainings. And we have outreach programs as well, whereby we talk about awareness of family-based care at the low-cost housing, basically like the council flats in UK maybe. And then we have programs basically to provide understanding to the flat dwellers about the importance of family-based care. So to wrap it up, I'll just say that in conclusion, I leave 3 reflections that capture what OrphanCare continues to fight for. First, families first. Second, listen to people who have lived experiences. Third, collaboration matters during crisis. We need the government, NGOs, communities, and international allies like UNICEF to stand together with us to ensure that no child is left behind without a family during a crisis. Thank you.
I will speak from here. Thank you, Datin, Elya. That's fine. So let's invite our the last speaker. So Mausumi Das, the courageous change maker from Assam. She is the founder of Assam Care Leaver Association. So her voice carries lived experience of many, and also her leadership continues to inspire community across India. So please, Mausumi, please. Thank you.
Thank you. as Vuthaya beautifully introduced me, so I don't want to introduce, but yeah, I also mentioned that I am also member of the National Caregiver Network in India, and also GCLC, we call Global Caregivers Community. And yes, growing up in institutions has shaped my identity and my work. Today, I am deeply honored to speak on a subject that defines both my journey and the lives of millions of young people. Crisis and resilience of families and care experience youth. Today, whatever I speak on this topic will come from my own experience and observations. So let's understand the crisis. Already, my panel partners had already mentioned so many of crises, but I would also like to mention, as we know that crises come many form: financial instability, health emergencies, sudden loss, or emotional breakdowns. Families face these challenges every day, and somehow they find a way to deal. But for care experienced youth, crisis is not occasional. It often feels constant. Imagine turn 18 and being told to leave childcare institutions you grow up in with no parents to guide you. Imagine searching for housing, job, and support while also carrying childhood trauma. Imagine facing stigma in society because of your background. This is the reality of many caregivers. The crisis is not just one event, it's the lack of safety net. Resilience of families. Families, however, show us the powerful lesson in resilience. They share burdens and adopt a new reality. They find the strength in relationship and community. Even the scarcity, they provide belonging and love. But families also need help. Many collapse under the poverty, migration, and disaster. Resilience is not automatic, as Birendra also mentioned that. It needs support system. So let's talk about the resilience of care experienced youth. Care experience or caregiver learn resilience differently. Without a family to fall back on, they build their own circle of belonging. Peer caregivers network become their own chosen family. CSO's mentor and state program fill some of gaps. Many, like those in the caregivers network or association, they transform their pain into purpose by helping others. Still, let us be honest, resilience alone is not enough. Caregivers need structured transactions plan, especially financial independence and emotional healing. I observe also some of the problems, and we must be acknowledge these problems. Families often lack of awareness or access to service. Caregivers living institution with no housing, no sustainable job, no legal documentation, and often no guidance. We know that policies are exist, but when we talk about the implementations, we know that somewhere is also weak. Mental health support is rarely prioritized. So these are the problems we must be acknowledged. And also, I have also, thought in my mind, we have also some solutions. So what can be done for families? Strengthen community-based support system, provide social protection scheme, childcare support and income stability. Invest in mental health and family counseling. Invest in entrepreneurship program for families and for care experienced youth. Mandatory aftercare program for at least 4 to 5 years. Why I am mentioning the 4 to 5 years? Because in India, we have aftercare scheme. We call Mission Bachalya. They're supporting us, but somewhere we also feel that that's not enough. At least it should 4 to 5 years extended. Skill building and long-term mentorship and job linkages before the exit. Mapping affordable housing option for the young adult. Peer-led network that ensure no one face crisis alone. Now, I'm talking about the how can you and me, how can everyone be contribute in this cause. In government sector, government can create stronger laws, fund aftercare, and ensure the accountability. In civil society and NGOs can build safe space and long-term mentorship program and livelihood program or entrepreneurship program. In families, they can extend care beyond blood relations, open homes, hearts, and communities. And corporate sector, they can offer internship, scholarship, and job linkages for vulnerable youth. Caregivers themselves can continue building peer support group or caregivers network, advocate and share life experience. Resilience is not just built. Resilience, it's a collective responsibility. In my own life, crisis was my daily companion. Growing up in institutions, stepping into adulthood without guidance and facing uncertainty, this moment could have broken me, but resilience comes from within and from the caregivers community I built around me. Today, I no longer see myself as a victim of crisis. I see myself as a builder of resilience of others. To conclude, crisis will always exist, but resilience can be created when families are supported, when care experienced youth are not left alone, and when society takes shared responsibilities. I truly believe crisis may shake us, but resilience gives us the courage to rise again, not just individually, but also together as a community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mausumi. So thank you for sharing, and I think we keep hearing this again and again, what we have to be built as adults, as policymakers. I think she's calling for your commitment. So how can we actually strengthening the family, especially family-based care, and also child protection in emergency? It has to be in place. The government, the local government, the national government has to come together as well as the local CSO and any other multidisciplinary bodies. Yeah, so I think we keep hearing this, and I hope for the next time that will be some innovation, sharing, and from experience of young people that they find some solutions and also offer some solution, and also organization like one of OrphanCare Foundation, and there will be many others to share with us also. So I think we don't have time for Q&A, but you can actually do the Mentimeter while it's on screen, while we're switching the speaker. So I think my session is finished, and I'm happy to be here and hopefully to see you next 2 years, somewhere in Asia or any parts of the world. So I will hand over the next session to Mr. Birendra Upadhyaya, interim CPO from SOS Children Villages International. Also, he is the director of Asia office. Thank you.